Hey everybody, this video is going to go over the concept of limiting reactants and excess reactants. So let me share my screen. We're going to be on page 10 in your packet, and if you look at page 10, there are some notes already written on the top of your page talking about what a limiting reactant is and what an excess reactant is. So when we're doing chemical reactions, we always run out of something first. So if you look at this sandwich recipe at the bottom of our picture here, it says that for each sandwich we need to have 2 slices of bread, 3 pieces of lunch meat, and a piece of cheese. So it's showing us in this picture that we have actually 6 slices of bread, we have 12 pieces of lunch meat, and we have 5 pieces of cheese. So if we look at each of those ingredients individually, we can figure out how many sandwiches we can make. If we have 6 pieces of bread, that means we can make 3 sandwiches. If we have 12 pieces of lunch meat, that means we can make 4 sandwiches. If we had 5 pieces of cheese, we could make 5 sandwiches. But we need all 3 of those ingredients together to make a good sandwich. So that means we could only make 3 sandwiches total. Why can we only make 3? Well, because we only have enough bread to make 3 sandwiches. Once we run out of bread, there's no more sandwiches. So that means we have run out of bread. That is our limiting reactant. That is going to determine how much bread or how many sandwiches we can actually make. That means we have leftover lunch meat and we have leftover cheese. Those are called excess reactants because we have some in excess, okay? So this information is already written for you on the top of your page. It's defining what a limiting reactant is, what an excess reactant is. If you see the word reagent, it's just talking about the same thing, reactant, okay? So a limiting reactant is going to tell us how much product we can make. It's going to be the thing that we run out of. We always run out of something first, okay? There's never a perfect world in chemistry where we end up and run out of both things both at the same time. We run out of something first. That's our limiting reactant. That's telling us how much reactant we can, or how much product we can make. Because once we run out of limiting, there's no more of that reactant to make any more product. The excess reactant is what we have left over. Okay, so after the limiting runs out, we still have some leftover reactant. That's the excess, okay? So if we look at this here, another food example, it's making me hungry. If we want a good hamburger, we've got to have a bun, we've got to have cheese, we have to have lettuce, and of course we have to have the hamburger patty. So if we have this much stuff down here, 4 buns, 5 pieces of cheese, 3 lettuce leaves, and 5 hamburger patties. First question, how many hamburgers can we make? We can only make, based on this recipe up here, we can only make 3 hamburgers because we only have enough lettuce to make 3 hamburgers. That means our limiting reactant is our lettuce. Everything else is in excess, okay? So let's apply this to actual chemistry problem. Here we go in this example over here. This tells us that we're starting with 10 hydrogen molecules and we're starting with 7 oxygen molecules, okay? We can count them up here if we wanted to. The white ones are the hydrogens, the red ones are the oxygens. So how many water molecules could we make? Well, one thing to keep in mind here is that our reaction, our chemical reaction, if I can get this pulled up here, my little annotate tools. Our balanced reaction for the synthesis of water is 2 hydrogen molecules reacts with 1 oxygen molecule to make 2 waters. So when we look at these ratios, for every 2 hydrogens, I can make 2 waters. So if I have 10 hydrogens, I could make 10 waters. I don't know why I did that. Let me erase that. I can make 10 waters. And then this ratio here tells me that for every 1 oxygen, I can make 2 waters. So if I have 7 oxygens, I can make twice as many waters. So whichever one produces the least amount, in this case, the hydrogen only produces 10 waters, whereas the oxygen makes 14. The one that produces the least is telling us how many waters we can make. So that's why we can only make 10 waters over here. And that's because we're going to run out of hydrogens. We're not going to have any more hydrogens to make any more waters. So our limiting reactant then is the thing that we run out of, in this case, the hydrogen. And our excess is going to be the thing that we have left over, in this case, the oxygen. Okay. Our next video is going to go over how to actually solve that mathematically to figure out which one's the limiting and which one's the excess. So stay tuned.